Hey everyone, Max Caven here with TravelWise International. Thanks for tuning in for another Cruise Day Tuesday episode. And more importantly, it's our last destination immersion episode of the month and the last Cruise Day Tuesday of 2020. Now, some say to save the best for last, which is why I'm excited to say that this week's destination is one of my all-time personal favorites, Japan. Today, we'll be looking at the top 5 reasons to visit Japan and why it needs to be included in your bucket list, and why and how you'll benefit from taking a cruise to this amazing destination. And the first reason, and my hands down favorite reason, is the food. I think it's safe to say that I more than enjoy eating while traveling, and Japan will never disappoint, whether you're grabbing a quick bite to eat or sitting down for a multi-course meal. Now, stereotypically, the first foods most people think of Japan are sushi and ramen, and there's nothing wrong with that, because you'll get some of the freshest seafood, freshest noodles, and freshest sauces that you probably don't have access to back home. Now, speaking of sushi, sashimi, which is my favorite way to enjoy raw fish and raw cuts of fish, will never disappoint whether you're eating at a sushi carousel restaurant or even picking up some prepackaged fish from the local grocery or convenience store. Make sure you also check out this Tsukiji Fish Market in Tokyo, which is one of the largest seafood markets in the world. Now, another benefit of cruising Japan is while you might love indulging in Japanese food and tasting everything possible that you can get your hands on, the rest of your party or family might not want to, and they just may want to experience one roll or one bite of ramen. That's fine too. Since back on the ship, because you can still get American food, Italian food, and so many other cuisines, you can even get authentic Japanese food at the Izumi restaurant located on Royal Caribbean ships. Now, the next reason to visit Japan is that Japan is a great destination to have an extended vacation before or after your cruise. Now, during your cruise, you typically visit several of the ports amongst the various 47 prefectures all over the country, but there is still so much more to explore in each place, or just in the metropolis Tokyo alone. Now, most people think of Tokyo as one major city. However, there are actually over 30 different special wards, all unique in their own ways, making up Tokyo. One can easily spend a week in Tokyo and still not see everything. When I was there, I spent 5 days there and barely saw half of it. Now, when planning your trip to Asia or anywhere on the other side of the planet, if you're coming from the States especially, I would highly suggest planning for at least 2 weeks, given your typical Japan cruise on a Royal Caribbean or a celebrity itinerary. It's going to be anywhere from 9 to 14 nights. That's not including travel time. Now, if you can go on vacation longer, that's even better, since from Japan, you have access to all of Southeast Asia, which is only a 3 or to 5 hour flight away. And to maximize your vacation in Japan, I would suggest to arrive early or depart later from Tokyo. Most cruises start from the Yokohama cruise port, which is about 45 minutes away from Tokyo, and you can actually experience the major city, and if time allows, plan another trip to other areas of Japan, such as like Mount Fuji as a day trip. Now, the next reason to visit Japan is the immense history, thousands of years old, spread amongst the country, which is still observed at present day. Temples, shrines, and castles are some of the structures found all throughout Japan, each with their own symbolic meaning, dedicated to past emperors or in remembrance of significant events throughout history. Now, from Tokyo to some of the farthest points around the country, by taking a cruise to various ports, you are easily able to see and sample different parts of the country, without worrying about how to get there and the travel time would normally take. Japan is also home to over 20 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including temples, forests, castles, landmarks, and sacred sites, spread from the northernmost point in Hokkaido all the way to the southernmost part of the country in the islands of Okinawa. Now, some of the most notable sites are Mount Fuji, of course. You'll probably hear it mentioned so many times since it's one of the most iconic and popular sites in Japan, and the Itsukushima Shrine, which is the red torii gates kind of floating in the water. Amazing sights. Now, the next reason to visit Japan is the picturesque scenery and landscapes everywhere you look. Even in the major cities, you can find beautiful gardens scattered amongst the busy streets full of people and skyscrapers. Mountains, waterfalls, forests, and lakes are just some of the sights you can expect to see when traveling through Japan. And not to mention the famous cherry blossoms, which you can see all over the country, that blossom around the middle of March and last for a few weeks. So depending on when you're going, depending on the itinerary you're on, the typical itineraries going to Japan are either in April or in later in the year, like October. The ones in April, you're almost positive and sure to see cherry blossoms. Now, also depending on the season you visit, each destination and site offers unique opportunities to see some of the most popular attractions in different forms. Whether you're gazing at the snow-capped mountains of Mount Fuji hundreds of miles away in Tokyo during the winter, or wandering through the seemingly endless bamboo forests in Arashiyama in the summer, each destination has a different look and a different season. The next best reason to visit Japan is that cruising around the country is a very affordable way to see the country that is thought to be one of the most expensive destinations. Now, don't get me wrong, Japan is not a cheap destination and definitely comparable to other first world nations when it comes to cost of living. However, you'll only spend about $100 to $150 a day when taking a cruise there. Now, why this is important, because also most touristy things to do in exploring Japan are free or have very small entrance fees. Now, when we compare that to the cost of hotels, transportation to and from various cities, and your meals, you can easily spend upwards of $200 to $300 per day when vacationing a la carte instead of on a cruise. Not only does your ship act as your floating hotel, but also your floating restaurant, and of course, also your source of entertainment and relaxation. Another reason cruising is preferred when visiting multiple destinations is that you only have to pack one time during your cruise, and you don't have to worry about changing hotel rooms or packing up the transfer to the next destination. Well, that's all the time we have for today, everyone. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode and learned something about one of my favorite places to visit, Japan, and why this amazing destination should be added to your bucket list. With delicious food, tons of places to explore, and a great destination to turn into an extended vacation, I would love to help you plan your next vacation and trip to Japan. Also, if you aren't doing so already, make sure you follow our Facebook and Instagram accounts, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if there's a destination you would like to hear more about, let me know and I'll be able to feature on our next Cruise Day Tuesday episode. I want to take this time also to wish everyone a Happy New Year and thank everyone for tuning in these past couple months. Stay tuned next week as we kick off 2021 with a brand new Cruise Day Tuesday series and much more to come. Again, I'm Max Cabin with TravelWise International. When you're ready to start planning your next cruise or have any questions, please give me a call at 301-248-8898 or send me an email at cruise@itravelwise.com. Thank you. I'll see you next week, and I will see you all next year.